Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Baron here. So we've been hit with a crazy amount of devblog posts today. The dev server has only been up one time, which is unfortunate, but you know what, ladies and gentlemen, what we're looking at right now is the Panzerjager One. And I've got some test server footage for it, and I'll put that at the end of the video. There will be a link in the comments below where if you'd like to skip everything, see the footage, and then come back and listen to the discussion, you're more than welcome to do that. Links in the comments. So basically, the Panzerjager One. Okay, and we'll be going over some of the other devblog posts. I'm pretty hyped up, pretty caffeinated, and very excited for this patch. So, ladies and gentlemen, what does the Panzerjager One mean? Well, with the addition of the Dicker Max with the 10.5 centimeter and the Nashorn with the 88 millimeter, it basically opens up a new tech branch. The open cabined self-propelled guns for the Germans or the Wehrmacht, or you know, whatever you'd like to call them. Oh, indigestion. But anyway, so let's talk about the Panzerjager One, and then we'll move on from there down the tech tree, or rather down the devblog releases. So the Panzerjager One, or Tank Hunter, was Germany's first series-produced anti-tank SPG. The SPG was created on the chassis. On the chassis of the Panzerjager One. Its turret was removed, it was customized to carry a cannon, and the cabin was equipped with light armored screens at the front and on the sides, but it's open on the top and the rear. The Panzerjager was intended as a tank destroyer, so it received a true anti-tank cannon, the Czech 47mm Pak 36T. So in War Thunder, the Panzerjager will occupy a position at rank 1 in Germany's tech tree. Like the other open cabin SPGs, the Panzerjager is weakly armored, but its cannon compensates for this drawback and then some. Ladies and gentlemen, German glass cannons. It's easily penetrating the armor of all enemies at its rank from practically any angle, often straight through it. So basically, over-penetration will likely be your main issue when using this if you don't hit critical components, right? But it's pretty cool. It's a cute little thing based off the Czech tank chassis, because the Germans did, you know, in their quest for Lebensraum, did take over, right? So we've already got two in the game previously, to patch 1.57 of these open cabined SPGs in the Martyr 3 and the Martyr 3H. And then with the addition of the Panzerjager 1 at rank 1, the Martyr 3 is at rank 2, and the Dicker Max and Nashorn at rank 3, we've got 3 different ranks of German SPGs. So with the new Panzerjager, Dicker Max, Nashorn, we finally have the opportunity to separate German SPGs with open cabins into the separate tech branch. So the vehicles that arrive with the update will share a branch with the 2 Martyr modifications. So it's kind of cool. And here's a really just beautiful picture of all the German open cabined SPGs. It's kind of cool that, like, it's a special day for me personally. I'm a big fan of German war machines, and you know what, I like these because German glass cannons just grew from 2 to 5. So anyway, are you looking forward to this tank, or rather tank destroyer, the Panzerjager One? How about the Dicker Max or the Nashorn? Do you have a favorite of the 3? I'm curious. I would have to say the one I'm looking forward to the most would probably be the Nashorn. Alright, so now we're moving on to the Ta-152C, the evolution of the Dora. The Ta-152 fighter was a further development of the Focke-Wulf 190D Dora. In War Thunder Update 1.57, Gaijin will present a new modification of this machine, the medium altitude 5 cannon Ta-152C. So this thing's going to be a massive gunship. It's going to have probably one of the highest burst mass per kilogram per second of the planes in War Thunder. Probably be in the top 5, I would imagine, because wait till you listen to the guns that are on this thing. So by 1944, the German command understood that the abilities of the Focke-Wulf 190 were no longer up to the task. The speed of Allied fighters already surpassed 700 kilometers per hour, and the Luftwaffe needed to re-examine the Focke-Wulf design. Alongside the development of jet fighters and the promising twin-engine Dornier 335, which we're also getting in 1.57, it was decided to upgrade the Focke-Wulf 190D by installing a new engine and improving the structure of the aircraft. That is how the new Ta-152 fighter was developed. The Ta-152H modification, which we have in the game, has already been in for quite a while. Players like this machine and it's present in almost every battle at its rank on the German side. It's a fan favorite among German pilots. In War Thunder 157, Gaijin presents the medium altitude modification of the 152C with a different engine, a smaller wing area compared to the H, and much more powerful armament. Right? So, let's see. The C modification has significant difference to its high altitude sibling. While the Ta 152H has longer wings used for flying at higher altitudes, the C modification uses short and durable Focke-Wulf 90 wings, which has better dynamic characteristics. The Ta 152C is a medium altitude interceptor, which has the task of quickly gaining altitude, catching up with the target, and destroying it with its 5 cannons. So the installation of the new Daimler-Benz DB603 LA engine required the air intake to be moved to the left side, and the artists have represented the cannon openings on top of the engine cowling. The protrusion on the left side of the cowl flap is a blister for the engine mount. This model of the Ta 152C is completely new and has been created in line with Gaijin's current in-game model quality requirements. So now to the good part, right? One of the main advantages of the Ta 152C modification is its improved armament. Two 20mm MG-151/20 cannons are located at wing roots with 175 shells per cannon, and another two 151/20s at the top of the engine cowling with 150 shells per cannon. Those are going to be synchronized, firing through the prop, as well as the 30mm Mark 103 autocannon with 85 shells, including the powerful Mingenschoss incendiary shells in the cylinder assembly, and hopefully the HVAP-Ts, because those 30s are tank killers. So if it does have the HVAP rounds and the Mingenschoss rounds, this thing could easily be switched from plane killer to tank killer with a simple change of ammunition. So the Ta 152C will be a rank 4 fighter in the German research tree. The fighter is located right after the Ta 152H and is most effective at medium altitudes. Its high speed combined with the excellent armament makes the aircraft a truly dangerous opponent for both propeller-driven aircraft and early jets. Meet the new top piston-driven edition in War Thunder 1.57. So ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty exciting. You really just have to be a huge fan of the 30mm Mark 103 that the Germans have. Those things are tank killers. Any plane with that basically enables it to really bring down the pain on AI tanks and human-controlled tanks in both RB plane battles and RB tank battles. So now we're going to look at a vehicle that I am pretty excited for because of how silly and unique and kind of derpy it is. And I usually have an affinity for these aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the MBR-2, known as the White Boat. So the Soviet flying boat from the beginning of the 1930s, the MBR-2 is one of the other additions to 1.57. Now we've seen some screenshots of it, but we haven't seen anything in the dev server. And this is the first Devblog posting today, March 14th. So it's about time we got a little bit of information. The key thing about this aircraft is it's an event aircraft. You can only get it through participating in an event, which we don't have any information on right now, and which we'll find out later. So it's rare that Gaijin introduces aircraft as unusual as the MBR-2. It's a Soviet flying boat developed at the beginning of the 1930s. So it's very, very early, and its BR will probably be very close to 1.0. So MBR is an acronym of Morskoy Blizhny Razvedchik. Morskoy Blizhny Razvedchik. My Russian's probably pretty bad, which means short-range marine scout, when it's pronounced properly, that is, which describes the aircraft's role rather well. This aircraft, designed to scout the sea several hours flight out from shore, was intended to coordinate the actions of the fleet and to fulfill the role of a light bomber. So it's intended to coordinate with fleet actions, which is great. Can't wait for War Thunder warships. I mean, can we all just say that right now? The plane successfully completed testing and went into service with the naval air forces of the Baltic and Black Sea fleets in 1934. Tests showed that the MBR-2 possessed good flight characteristics, which significantly surpassed foreign aircraft of the same type. Let's take a look at the in-game model. It's gorgeous, guys. It's gorgeous. It looks cool. It's got that open turret in the front similar to the TB3. It only has 2 turrets, so there is going to be a significant amount of area specifically from the bottom whereby this thing has blind spots for gunners, but it is a flying boat, so generally flying boats have weak spots near the bottom. So the Soviet MBR-2 flying boat is a fully wood-built aircraft with a single pusher propeller located above the wing plane. In comparison with other flying boats like the Sunderland, for example, the Soviet boat looks rather small. Its wingspan is only 62 feet and its hull length is only 44 feet, so it's the smallest flying boat in game, not necessarily the smallest flying float plane. I think that goes to the HE-51 Hydro. The most unusual aspect of this flying boat, the thing that makes the MBR-2 stand out, is the M17 engine mounted above the wing. The engine is a pusher with a large twin blade propeller, and what's interesting is this engine configuration is the first and so far the only aircraft in the game with such a configuration. That being the pusher with the engine elevated above the wing. There's a lot of aircraft that were designed like this, and they're very iconic looking as a result because of how unique they are. So it's kind of cool to see one in game. The MBR-2 can carry up to 500 kilograms of bombs though, guys, 1,100 pounds, or even 700 kilos, 2 250s, and then 450 kilos in its overweight configuration with fuel underfill. And its defensive armament consists solely of 2 7.62 millimeter SPAA machine guns. So relatively weak, but I mean, when you consider the BR that this thing will be at, you know, that should be expected. In War Thunder, this will be a special edition aircraft at rank 1, obtainable by participating in in-game events. So keep an eye on the news. Ladies and gentlemen, the MBR-2 is the very incarnation of the romance of naval aviation of the 1930s and a gem in the collection of any enthusiast of military vehicles. The aircraft is available in 2 color schemes at once, silver and white, and the defensive green with camouflage spots. The flying boat will be added to War Thunder 1.57, but it will be an event aircraft. So, pretty excited for that. And then finally, we have the 94 km SPAA, and its twin 25mm cannons on the ZIS-12 truck base. So, with 72K cannons, 2 of those. And I've got video on this. It fires about 250 shots per minute. So if you'd like to see it in action, there'll be a link in the video description and the comments below. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to see that Panzerjager One test server footage. So without further ado, let's check out it in action.